So today we're going to be brewing our ESB. We're doing a 10-gallon batch on our Electric Brew System. First thing we got to do is collect water and make sure all our valves are shut. And we're going to collect 14 gallons of water just to get ready for mashing. Once we start collecting our water, we like to make sure all the stuff is off on our brew controller. Turn that on. What that'll do is allow us to set the temperature for the mashing, and we're going to wind up setting up the hoses. So in a minute I'll be back. Alright, we got all our hoses set up for recirculation. Water comes out, down the hose, into the pump, out of the pump, back into our recirculation port, which will spin the water, helping it heat up quicker and keeping the temperature in the hot liquor tun a lot more consistent. So now we have the temperature set for 160 degrees. We're going to turn on the water pump. And now we're going to get ready, get our grains ready. Now we're measuring out our grains. We need to get up to 14 pounds Maris solder. And then we have several more specialty grains to go. JD's over here grinding the grain. Only 3 more hoppers to go. Okay, so right now the water temperature is up to 131 degrees. On our way to 160. We have all the grain crushed. It's a beautiful sight. Now we're going to go ahead and pour that into our mash tun. That way it's in there, so that way we're ready to underlet. It's a little cloudy. Yep. Once we get it in, we'll get the lid right on it. That'll keep the dust down. That'll clear momentarily. And we'll be back once we're ready to underlet. Alright, we're back. The HLT is up to temperature. We're at our 160 degrees. We're now going to set up the hoses to transfer. So the first thing we're going to do is close the valve on the pump. Close the top valve so no more fluid comes out that. Disconnect our hose. Move that to the bottom of our mash tun. Going to open up that. Move that to the bottom of our mash tun. Going to open up that. Now this is all ready. It's all plumbed through. And we're going to collect 6.5 gallons of water to mash in. So we're going to open up this valve. At this point, we're starting to underlet. So far, about approximately 2 gallons have transferred. Alright, water's starting to come through the grains. Once it all comes through, I'll give it a good stir. And we'll finish setting up the hoses to recirculate our mash. We have 30 minutes left to the mash. Everything has stabilized at 148 degrees. We'll try to get you guys a good view of the liquid inside. It is running crystal clear now, you can see. Alright. So in about another 30 minutes, we'll prepare for our sparge. We're going to increase the temperature on the HLT to 168 for mash out. Alright, the mash is complete. Right now we're going to adjust sorry about that. We're going to adjust this to 168 degrees, raise the temperature up to mash out, and then continue that for about 10 minutes. Alright, It usually takes about 10 minutes for it to get up to temperature, and then about another 10-12 minutes until the mash tun is completely ready to be sparged. In the meanwhile, we've been drinking our Oktoberfest. It's our first successful lager. It sat in the keg and aged for about 4.5 months at this point. Color, it's kind of probably hard to see, but it's nice dark color, nice thick head.
Sorry, I have a pumpkin.
He's drinking our pumpkin now. Brewed with 6 pounds of pumpkin in the mash, and then lightly spiced, so that way you still taste the actual pumpkin and not the spice only. That's about 2.5 months old right now. Just about 2.5 months old. Enjoy. It's a late homebrew Wednesday. It's actually Thursday here for us, so enjoy. Alright, we're finished with the mash. We are now finished with our mash out. The water temperature here is actually about 168 degrees. We just switched our tubing. Don't mind that. I'll make a mess. It's easy. We just switched our tubing, so we're no longer recirculating in here. The water is going to come out of the hot liquor tank, down through the tubing, up, out, through the coil, and back in on top of the mash, which we're going to drain out slowly and fill our kettle. We're going to try to maintain a slow rate enough to get about an hour's time, at which point we should end up with 13.5 gallons in here and be ready for the boil. Alright, we just started our sparge. I just collected some of the first runnings. The coloration is wonderful. It's for our ESB. I'm just going to take our refractometer reading to see roughly what the first runnings are. That way we have an idea of what to expect out of the finished product. First runnings are roughly 1075. So it's right around what I expected out of the first runnings. We're going to monitor the flow rate and make sure that we get this full collection in about an hour's time, at which point I'll get a pre-boil gravity reading and we'll check back in. Alright, so we finished our sparge. We collected 13.5 gallons of water. We had to use a little bit of top-up water. Our grain absorption calculation was a little off today. Don't know why. We'll have to work on that, see what's going on with that. But right now we have our boil PID set to 100% to get the boil going. Once we reach a boil, we'll be lowering that down to about 70. And that'll maintain about a 1.5 gallon boil off throughout the boil. So right now our pot's filled up to right about there. I don't know how hard it is to see on the camera, but we're going to get a pre-boil gravity reading. And go from there. We're looking pretty good. We still have to add the sugar, which will bump us up right to where we should be. So in a minute, actually right now, we can actually add the sugar to the boil, and we'll take another gravity reading in about 10 minutes. We have our 2 pounds of dextrose to add to the boil. I'm going to add that now. We have yet to come to a boil, but we got to just slowly add this. Keep good stir going. This will get the gravity up to a pre-gravity reading. It'll also help thin the beer and give it a nice light mouthfeel when the product's done. When it's all said and done and we have all the fermentation complete, we should come in right around the 6% for this ESB. Alright, we're just starting to come to a boil. We just starting to get a little bit of a roll going. Right now I'm just moving all the hot break off to the side. I got water close by. That way, in case it tries to boil over, hopefully we can knock that off before we have any issues. Should probably be another minute or two. And then once we get this up to a nice little boil, we will set the PID to 70% to maintain our boil for the duration of our hour. Hang in there and let's get this going. Alright, so we got a nice rolling boil going. Right now we're going to turn the PID down, bring it to 70%. We'll leave it there for the duration of our boil. And we'll get ready to put our 60-minute addition of hops in. This is my littlest one. There's another one the same size inside. And then I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. All girls. So this little monster is helping us tonight.
She's our 70-minute brew edition.
Our 70-minute edition. Right now I'm just setting the timer so that way it'll let us know when to add our different additions. And our boil is ready. We're ready for our 60-minute addition. We got 1 ounce of warrior hop. That smells good? Yeah, that smells delicious. Nice, beautiful color. And we'll check back in about 30 minutes when we do our 2 ounces of hallertau.
Hey ladies and gentlemen, my name is JD. And in case you got too bored with Dan, I'm going to throw things up. Why? Because it's late at night, he has kids, and I don't have work until 6 p.m. tomorrow. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be adding our 30-minute hop edition of hallertau into our boil, which is looking really, really good. So we've got 5 seconds left on the PID for 3, 2, 1. And as for that noise, here comes the 30-minute edition. Smells great, looks great. Thank you very much. We'll be right back.
And now, back with JD.
Alright guys, we're in the home stretch here. Aside from the annoying alarm, you can tell that it is just time for our Irish Moss. For any novices out there, that's going to settle everything out to the bottom along with the 20-minute wait while we cool the beer.
Makes a big difference.
Hope to see you again.
Alright, this ridiculous contraption is our summer cooling for the work.
Even though it's fall.
Yes, it's the last attempt. Alright, that's the end of our boil. So we're going to turn off the boil kettle. We have our hoses already set up to whirlpool. We're going to whirlpool for a few minutes. Just setting up the ice bath right now. So I'm going to open up all valves. We'll let that get all the air out. We're going to start our whirlpool. The nice part about using an ice bath, it's also good for chilling beer. Alright, would you bump the wort pump? Turn it off. Another second. Alright, bump it on. Alright, and that is the beginning of our whirlpool. We're going to whirlpool for about 20 minutes. Helps get everything to start collecting into the center. In about 5 minutes time, we're going to put our chiller in. Let that start chilling. Hit the reset button.
Set.
Yep. Reset. One over to the right of that. One over to the right of that.
RST.
Reset.
Doesn't say reset. You know, you could have showed you putting that in. I'm just saying, you know.
And I'm just saying, maybe the film recorder, JD here, never hit the stop button on the record. And
So
we
it's
put
perfect.
the coil into the brew.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just enjoyed a little bit of the backstage action that happens here at Imperial Brew Company.
I want you to hit the start timer. By the time to see how long it takes to chill. And then turn the water on. You can actually open it up pretty good. And we're going to give it a couple seconds to start collecting. We're going to take the top off of our mash tun. And we're going to collect about 5 to 8 gallons. So you might want to turn the water off momentarily while he brings the water spraying into the room. Okay? And on. Right now the boil temperature is 198 degrees.
So effectively, what we are doing is, from our hose, we're going through the chiller, in the ice bath, of course, into the chill that's in our wort, and all the hot water that is coming out is getting collected into our mash tun for cleaning.
So
Recycling.
waste less.
Should we shut this down? Let's not dribble out.
Alright, we're down to 180 degrees. We're going to cut away and we'll cut back when we're down to about 65. We're done.
No, we're not. There's cleanup to do yet.
Yeah, but we're done chilling at least. And it took almost 24 minutes to cool from boil down to 67 degrees on 12 gallons of wort. So at this point, we're going to take the chiller out, let it whirlpool another 5 minutes, turn the whirlpool off, and let it just settle to the bottom. That way we can have all the cold break on the bottom of the pot. So when we transfer it out, we get as much clean wort as we can. Alright, so finish cooling, we let it settle. Now we're just collecting the wort into our fermenter. This we're collect about between 10.5 and 11 gallons. This holds 14 to 14.5 gallons roughly. So we have plenty of headspace for the fermentation. You might be able to make it out there, but the wort coming out of the kettle is crystal clear already. So that'll actually help with keeping the amount of sediment down inside the fermenter, and it also helps usually give us a much clearer looking beer in the final product. Alright, so now that we collected all of the wort we needed, we're going to now oxygenate, pure oxygen, for 1 minute.
Hold on, where's my beer? What you doing?
I got rid of it.
Oh, you drank it on me. Oh, I drank my beer. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this thing's like really bubbling like crazy right now.
It was an expensive present that I had to buy Dan, but he wouldn't let me leave without buying it for him.
That's because I need things.
I found my beer.
Yeah, you thought.
Oh, you stole my beer.
Oxygen is a very important part
of this step.
After you put it into whatever you're going to ferment it in, whether it be a carboy, whether it be dog food container, as we have.
Great headspace.
If you haven't tried it, I recommend trying it. It leaves a lot of room for blow off. Not that much blow off is going to go. I don't know if you've had the problem. We have blow off going everywhere in our fermentator, and it just leaves a big old mess.
It's terrible.
These guys have a lot of headspace in them. All you have to do is drill a small hole, put in a little gasket, and you're fine. You're A-okay. But
somebody needed to add air. Really?
That simple. Oxygenated. No ridiculous amount of shaking for like 4 hours, etc., etc. Now we're just going to get this into the fermentation chamber, pitch our yeast, and it's off to the races.
all right. So
let's clean this. This guy get some stand.
from all of us at Imperial Brewing Company, I'd like to wish you good brewing,
And a
good
little
oxygenation,
and star sand in the future.
great star sand. And please don't take this big guy too seriously.
I'm only a little insane.
Those are my feet.
Okay, and?
That's
Why'd
what
you
we
put
say
them
all
there?
the time. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to our cleaning process here. A lot of people don't think that this is proper to include in a video that goes to YouTube. But what we've done is effectively clean 3 pots with PBW. What we do is we clean our mash tun first. Put PBW in it, let it become warm, and then what we do is we transfer it through this lovely pump into here, and then we let this soak through PBW. What we'll do is take the mash tun out, empty it in the garden, makes for great fertilizer. So we'll put PBW in here, let it swirl around for a few minutes, and then we'll empty it through our hose. After that, we'll give it a good rinse with a hose. Then we will wash and spray everything down with star sand. When Danny's away, the boys will play.
Come on.
Alright. So, on your left, in my hand, the cup going up and down, is our Oktoberfest.
This is Sam Adams' Oktoberfest. Which has the better head? Talk to me.
We might be stuck up, but I'll tell you right now,
I'll trade.
I don't know if I want to trade.
Sorry, I chose.
Yeah, no. Here you go. Thank you again.
Thank you.